My name is Chris Brown, member of the church here. Got a wife, got 2 awesome kiddos, along with my awesome wife. Been doing ministry for a long time, thanks to God, and had the privilege to be before you tonight. So, I'm a big, fellas, Ravens. I see you, Broncos. I see you. Ravens. Big Ravens, yes, yes. All right, now, I was planning on showing you the video. Who's seen the Ray Lewis dance? Who's seen when Ray Lewis would enter into a stadium, what happens with this dance this man has as his intro? Smoke, fire, they play a song, he comes out there, his teammates are gathered around, he did his dance, he's retired now 2 years. Did his dance, got everybody fired up. And that's what I was doing just now. I was doing my own entrance because, you know, I feel at home in letting the Lord use me, but also I'm fired up for you tonight. The same way that Ray Lewis got fired up. And what he was saying is that it was a message when he was doing his dance. He's saying, this is my house. The Lord is my God. This land is my land. He would literally take some dirt and put it on. Woo! Fired up. Sugar Ray. He said, I will tear down and walk over anything that gets in my way in my house. This not only fired him up, it fired up his teammates and the fans ready to go. And I'm telling you, I'm fired up to tell you tonight that Satan has no victory in your lives. No victory. I am fired up to bring that message to you tonight. I'm fired up to tell you that no matter what the circumstance of your life, no matter what your age is, no matter what you were up to, God can use you in incredible ways. God can use you in incredible ways. God can use you in incredible ways. I don't care what the circumstance is. He's God. He can use you. So I did my little dance because I'm fired up. Let's look at the scripture tonight. Mark 11, verses 15 through 19. And they came to Jerusalem, and he entered the temple and began to drive out, Jesus did, those who sold and those who bought in the temple. And he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold pigeons or doves. And he would not allow anyone to carry anything through the temple. And then he was teaching them and saying to them, is it not written, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all the nations? But you have made it a den of robbers. And the chief priests and the scribes heard it and were seeking a way to destroy him, for they feared him, because all the crowd was astonished at his teaching. And when the evening came, they went out of the city. Now, right before this scripture, Jesus was coming in on the triumphal entry, what is called the triumphal entry. That is, he made his Ray Lewis entry into Jerusalem, riding on a young colt. People using palm leaves to welcome him, waving the palm leaves and the branches, and then throwing down their coats and garments on the ground so the dirt wouldn't touch him. This is the king. This is the Messiah. Bringing him in. Hallelujah, hallelujah, glory to God, hallelujah. So happy. His disciples were celebrating. This was his homecoming entry as the rightful king. And then the next day, right before this block of scripture we're talking about, he went to a fig tree because he was hungry. He wanted to grab a bite from the fig tree. The fig tree did not have any fruit on it. He said, may no one ever eat fruit from you again. That tells us that this was his time and his homecoming because he needed that fruit right then. He didn't need to wait for a week or a year. He needed it right then. The tree was not ready. Do you know that one week after this, some of the same people who were yelling, hallelujah, hallelujah, were yelling, crucify him! Crucify him! 1 week. He knew it. He could see it. That's why he was tearing up when he was on that colt. Thank you, Charles Spurgeon, for that thought. He was very near his pinnacle, his ministry pinnacle. Go time. So he comes back to the temple. And he straight away starts taking care of what he saw as urgent business. Because there are all kinds of merchants and Bible-age hustlers getting their hustle on in the temple with holy merchandise. And we look at what the scripture says Jesus did. Let's go back to verse 15. Let's go back to verse 15. He began to drive out those that sold it. You know, I actually see 3 key words. He drove, he overturned, and then in 16, it says that he would not allow or would not permit. Those are 3 key little phrases there. I want to talk to you about those. He drove out those that were buying and selling. Now think about it. He didn't just drive out the sellers, he drove out the buyers. Not just the sellers, he drove out the buyers. And not just the hustlers, but the hustlees. Got them out of there. Everybody. He drove them out. Their little marketplace was an inappropriate lie. It was a lie to be rightfully selling anything in God's house other than the good news. It was equally a lie to be buying. Now, the original Greek, you know, originally Scripture was written in different languages, Hebrew, Greek, Aramaic. The original Greek right here, the original Greek word for drive is ekbolo. Ekbolo. And it means to cast out with violence. To cast out with violence. Not, excuse me, you might have ran please. Come on, just give me some space here. Not that, okay? To cast out with violence. Jesus cast out lies from his Father's temple. That was the drove. He overturned the money changers' tables and the chairs of the pigeon or dove sellers. Now the temple had its own currency. Did you hear that? The temple had its own currency. That's like you coming into your Wednesday community fellowship here at Grace, and we have our own dollar bills. We have our own coins with the faces of, I don't know, Will Done to you 100 or something like that. We have our own currency. They had their own money. And so what would happen was these bankers at the tables would have to exchange the temple currency for their other currency that they got for working. Okay, they'd have to exchange that. And of course, they made a killing, astounding rates. And they had animals in there because they were doves and these other animals were approved sacrificial animals. Doves. Now just give me a second here. Doves? Doves. Pigeons, doves. People were selling doves. Why doves? Here's what I liken that to. I liken that to if you came here and we were selling fried chicken. All right? We're selling fried chicken. But not just regular fried chicken, Walmart fried chicken. Okay? So we're selling Walmart fried chicken when you come here. But not just selling Walmart fried chicken, but we up the price of Walmart fried chicken when you come here. So we didn't make it. We don't deserve it. We're selling you Walmart fried chicken. That's kind of what that's like. Oh boy. Fried dove, fried chicken, I don't know. Hustling. Straight hustlers. And the best way to explain the Greek word used for overturn is to picture soil being plowed. Picture soil being plowed. Somebody with a plow going through soil. You know what it does? It turns that soil over. Anything on the top of the soil is finished. It's history. Finito. Fin. Listo. Terminado. Or as our West Coast surfer brethren say, game over, dude. They do. They say it. The rich, soft, moldable soil that we need is underneath that surface.
Yes, sir.
And we're ready to accept the seeds. We're ready to accept the seeds, that rich, soft, moldable soil. So Jesus plowed through all the deceit and falsehood to clear the way for the truth, overturning those tables, clear the way for the truth to be heard and accepted. He would not allow, he would not permit for people to carry merchandise through the temple. Again, the Greek phrase here could also be